How's it going, Jack Tackers, and welcome back to another video for you guys. Today I'm going to be doing my review for Succession Season 4, Episode 3, which was titled Connor's Wedding. Very normal episode, nothing crazy happened, to be honest. Yeah, it's actually kind of boring, if we're being completely honest. Yeah, it was just about Connor's wedding, and, no. What? What's going on? Okay, so, how do I even go about this? Yeah, it was not a normal episode at all. Okay, so if you haven't seen this episode, don't watch this video, don't watch this review. Something very big happened in this episode, and I would hate to spoil it for you. So if you have not watched the episode, click off the video. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're talking about spoilers now. And let's just address the elephant in the room. Logan Roy died in this episode. It still sounds so weird to say that. But Logan is dead. Okay. This episode was very much a MacGuffin. I don't know if that's exactly the right thing to call it, but it was kind of disguised. No one really expected this to happen, obviously, and I'm just shocked. I'm completely stunned. But let me just say right now, this episode was fantastic. It's one of the best episodes just of all time. Of all time. It's one of the best TV show episodes I've ever seen, and it's the Ozymandias of Succession. Ozymandias obviously being one of the best episodes of Breaking Bad, and that's my favorite show. So I have to compare everything to Breaking Bad. But this was just incredible. It was so unexpected and just crazy. And I was absolutely stunned by what was unraveling. And again, it was disguised. Only episode 3 this happened. The main character, I would say Logan Roy was the main character, yeah. Him and Kendall were, but also I think Logan was the main antagonist. I mean, he very much was. So, but I mean, there's so much that we still have to go through. And it kind of makes sense, honestly. If we're being completely honest, the more I've thought about it, just from a writing perspective, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's a lot of story left. I mean, 7 episodes worth. Which, yeah, that's a lot of story. Because this season's going to be 10 episodes. So, 7 episodes we still have to get through. But, you know, there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to have to deal with. But I don't want to talk about the episodes to come. Just kind of want to go over a brief rundown. But yeah, it's Connor and Willow's wedding. And at the beginning of this episode, when Logan's still alive and well, he actually wants to lay off Jerry and wants Roman to break the news to her, which was just, bro, asshole. And by the way, I'm pretty happy Logan's dead. But, you know, the character's reactions, it was very sad. But anyway, then obviously Logan has a heart attack of some sort. He goes into the airplane restroom and apparently was having trouble breathing. And then he collapses and they have to do CPR on him. And, you know, let me just tell you, this show is really the modern version of Game of Thrones. A lot of people have already said that. But in Game of Thrones, everyone always dies at a wedding. You know, the red wedding, the purple wedding. Someone's always died at weddings. And while I guess Logan technically didn't die at the wedding, he died during the wedding. So, and obviously the last time we saw a wedding in Succession was Tom and Shiv's wedding in the season 1 finale. And that's when Ken got that guy killed, ran the car into the lake. Jeez, man. But yeah, it was just crazy to see everyone's reactions and like in real time to see this all unfold. It was brilliant. It was shot brilliantly. Obviously, the show always is shot brilliantly. It was just intense. shocking, just unbelievable. And also the performances, especially Sarah Snook, I mean, who plays Siobhan. Just incredible stuff. And Jeremy Strong as well was, it's mesmerizing. It was absolutely mesmerizing to watch what was unfolding. It was amazing. And just to, again, going back to all the character reactions, we had Roman kind of being in denial. Yeah, we have Siobhan just kind of not, she was taking it pretty hard. And we also had Kendall, who basically says, oh my God, one of my favorite moments of this episode is when Ken's just like, I can't forgive you, when he's literally saying that to his dying dad. Might have been the last thing Logan ever heard from him. And then Connor just doesn't really care. Connor just didn't really give a shit that Logan was dying, or was dead, rather. It's funny. And then also I love in this episode, Carrie kind of wanting to be a part of the team to create a statement, that group of people that were on the plane. And they're like, yeah, no, Carrie, you're not... well, they didn't exactly say that, but they're like, oh, yeah, sure, maybe later, you know. I thought that was funny. Carrie's kind of irrelevant now that Logan's dead. And also her reaction. I love Tom when Carrie leaves the room and Tom's like, what was that? It was great. But yeah, Carrie is irrelevant now. And I guess Jerry's in the clear. Because again, going back to the beginning of this episode, she was in the line of fire. She was going to get laid off. But I guess she's fine now. Presumably. And it did make it seem like in this episode, Connor and Willow were gonna call off the wedding. They had an interesting conversation. Connor asks her if she's just kind of in it for the money, so to speak. And I mean, there's some debate, I'm sure, online on whether or not Willa actually loves Connor. I don't think she does. Genuinely. But, you know, that's just my opinion. But then, no, they actually do end up getting married. They have a smaller wedding. We do see that brief moment. And yeah, and then also there's a moment in this episode where Tom wants Greg to delete this folder, I think called like logistics, off of his computer. Kind of reminds me with the document scenario in the earlier seasons, either in season 2 or season 1. It was, one of those seasons where they had that whole fiasco. Kind of reminds me of that. And then New Gen Roys, they decide to be part of the statement. Towards the end of the episode. And Siobhan gives out a statement. And then everyone now knows that Logan is dead. And people are wondering who the successor is going to be. The question's still not answered. And which, you know, makes sense. Part of me kind of was wondering, like, why didn't they prepare for this better? Like, but that was the whole show. I kind of just realized, like, you know, we were kind of wondering who's the successor going to be. And I was just curious as to why things were kind of so confusing after Logan died, because no one really knew what to do. And obviously people still don't know who the successor is, who's going to be taking over the company. But that was just how it was. Like the whole show, Logan would not say for certain. He would not have a concrete answer as to who would be the successor. That was the whole show. And we still don't know who the successor is going to be. And so, yeah, I was kind of like confused at first, just because I was like, wait, why didn't they have a better plan for this? Like, why don't they know? And then like, oh, well, no, of course they don't have a plan for this, because Logan he kind of refused to die. And now he's dead. But yeah, fantastic episode. I mean, that's really all I got to say about it. Just absolutely amazing. Blew me away. I cannot wait to see what happens in the next few episodes. Well, 7. It'll be amazing. This is definitely a final season, I'll tell you that much. And I'll be honest as well, for a little while watching this episode, I was like, maybe Logan isn't actually dead, because they weren't showing his face, but then they did. But they only showed it in like one shot. But I think that was also a very brilliant just way to do it as well. Kind of made it more intense and riveting, not to kind of show his face. And yeah, it was just, it was great. Brilliantly executed, this episode. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. A lot of people are already talking about Emmys. And Better Call Saul, I wanted Better Call Saul to have a good chance at the Emmys this year. But I'm still rooting for Better Call Saul over Succession, by the way. I'm sorry. But I really hope Better Call Saul can pull off some Emmys. But I don't know if it's going to happen with what Succession has just pulled off. But I don't want to pit the two against each other. They're different shows, and they're both fantastic. And I loved this episode. And yeah, it was a 10 out of 10 episode, one of the best episodes I've ever seen in TV. But I'm also like, I don't know, maybe I'm in a honeymoon phase right now. Like Connor and Willa. Okay. That's okay. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I don't know though. I'm thinking maybe in like a few weeks, I'll be like, oh, this episode wasn't that amazing. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. You really got to have certain things like this sit with you. But I'm blabbering on now. Let me hear your thoughts on the episode down in the comments below. I am so curious to see what you guys have to say about it. I know a lot of people were just stunned, just like I was. Surprised I wasn't really spoiled for this. I saw, because it was Easter today, by the way. Still blabbering on, but I'm going to talk about this. It was Easter, by the way, when this episode came out. So I was having dinner with the family. I wasn't able to watch this right when it came out on HBO because it comes out at 6 because I live on the West Coast. So it comes out at 6. So I was having dinner. Wasn't able to watch this immediately. So I'm so surprised I didn't get spoiled for this. I tried to stay off of Twitter. I saw like one brief thing, just like a brief image. I think it was of Shiv and Roman and Ken hugging. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. But I was just like, whatever. But my sister did see something that was pretty crazy. She didn't tell me what it was, though, but she was like, oh, my gosh, I just saw the craziest Succession spoiler. And I'm like, oh, man. But, okay, yeah, I got to end the video now. I've talked, well, it was an important episode. I had to talk about this episode and just kind of put all my thoughts on the table. And there you guys go. But let me hear yours down in the comments below. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and please check out my Letterboxd and Twitter down in the description. I'll follow back, I promise. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.